All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's TheoTRADE Chat. Back for another day. It's Don Kaufman here on this Wednesday morning. What do you say? The S&Ps are down some seven handles. That's all we've got going on. The volume has been extremely light, although picking up in the last hour. Overnight trade and the S&Ps it was completely dead. I woke up this morning and there was only 67,000 contracts, and that was a little bit like 90 minutes ago. It was like incredibly light. I'm like, holy crap, nothing is going to happen today. Something changed here at 5:30. There is a little bit of Fed speak today. And it's kind of weird. I'm not sure that that's necessarily generating any of the movement, but Fed President Williams says he has nothing to say about the allegations, but the Fed independence is extremely important. I think that the entire marketplace right now is focused on Nvidia, when the story about the Fed is really starting to kind of heat up a little bit. So the marketplace is going to open listlessly lower. The real mover on the screen right now might just be the bond market. Once again, seeing some sell side activity is the 30-year US bond treasury futures kind of dangling off of a cliff over here. We'll see if these things start to break down a little bit today. But your focus right now got to be right here inside of the NASDAQ. So what is taking a hit? What's taking a hit? There's seconds to go to the cash open, and the answer is a little bit of everything. So I started looking at this, and a little bit of everything. Like seconds to go to the cash open, Google, even that's taking a little bit of a hit. Things are getting freaky, people. It's going to be a fast cash open, much faster than you would have anticipated. There's going to be a little bit of a punch to this marketplace right into the cash open. You can see trade is starting to amp up right into it. Not exactly what I would have expected, 90 minutes ago, but we'll take what the defense gives us. The other thing worth mentioning is in the SPX, we're unchanged on the week. Yesterday's rally didn't do anything. It just rallied us back to where we were on last Friday. Let's come to the bell this morning. Ticks scattered and broken, but a little bit of a negative bias to the overall marketplace. Advanced decline line. As you're about to see, the advanced decline line, I don't think is going to be bad. Okay, it's not. The advanced decline line, I don't think is going to be not going to be too bad, and it's not too bad. This is tech all the time. Go CRM, go. You're green. I'm just looking around really quick. All right, so into the cash open. Actually, the ticks are a little bit more negative than I would have anticipated this morning. But again, it's, as I said, it's the world according to tech. Nothing is making substantial moves here at all. Nothing. Okay. This is again a little more quiet of a cash open. And I know we're only seconds into it, but there looked like there was going to be some stocks that were really going to get hammered into this. So we'll see if order flow comes in and piles in and starts to pile on, if you will, a few of these tech stocks here. Expectations here. Okay, I don't really have any today. We're still above the so critical 6450. And as you guys well know, we've been flirting with 6450 for the past several trading days. Obviously, yesterday, an extensive break below it, and then a bid back. I'm telling you, if there's a sort of level to look for today, and this is in the S&P futures, which are trading 64.76 right now. But if there's a level to look for, it would be 64.50. See us revert back there, and that would be interesting to say the least. Obviously, Nvidia is coming out tonight. It's all anybody can talk about, but I'm a little bit more focused on the bond market right now, which is starting to get sketchy once again. I'm also, and again, it's not because I have a position here. I want to start with this morning. I'm a little surprised that gold hasn't kind of ripped higher. Okay, we're in a period of time where the the Federal Reserve, okay, almost like their sovereignty is kind of being called into question. I would have thought this would have had bigger implications back to the US dollar and the gold market. We're in a market right now, okay, that is literally just brushing everything off. Nothing matters. Nothing matters until it totally matters. The volatility index reflects that as well. I mean, if somebody told you like, hey, look, they're firing members of the Fed. If you said this like a few years ago, they're going to fire members of the Fed, voting members of the Fed, okay, for egregious offenses. Being a little sarcastic with that, I checked a box. It was an egregious offense. But if you said a couple of years ago, like I'm firing members of the Fed and replacing them, okay, with friendly members of the Fed, this marketplace would have kind of freaked out a little bit. And it's like, we totally expected it. Par for the course. It's quite entertaining, at least at this point. But gold might very well be due, if you will, for that more substantiated breakout. I'm also looking, once again, you guys have seen me trade silver a number of times, but silver, and again, I'm surprised here, it's like backing off a little bit. Would have thought this would have aligned right to like 35 half, maybe, ready to explode higher. I'm not, and I want to make this clear, I'm not ready to trade into silver yet. I still have this gold trade on, which is, it's kind of on the dance floor of making money, but I'm surprised. There's not too many things in markets that kind of, I mean, every day you come into the market and you're like, oh, that's kind of weird, but there's some pretty shocking things in the bond market. Okay, might be the only one that's actually paying attention right now. The bond market basically said a Fed interest rate cut is in the bag. And meanwhile, if you take a look at interest rates, they haven't gone down. Okay, they're not gonna go down. So this is actually the 10-year, fairly flat. I am still of the opinion in here that this 10-year is going to have a hurrah all the way back up here. Okay, I know this says 45, but it's an indicative of 4.5, right? So I think that we're probably going to head back there, which leads to the eventuality, okay, of the bond market selling off quite considerably. And yes, I was looking at the 10-year. So to be fair, I'll bring up the ZN. The ZN is representative of the 10-year U.S. Treasury bond futures. So this is a futures contract, though. You're not actually buying. You're not buying like, physical bond paper. But this is a marketplace that still could have, if you will, fairly substantiated down move. For those of you that are not Treasury bond future friendly, do you feel Treasury bond future friendly? I know I do. But if you're not Treasury bond future friendly, you would want to look at something like the TLT. And to me, the way to trade TLT right now is to take a wild and woolly shot for it trading, like for instance, under 85. And then you're like, oh man, it's at 86 right now, but it's not a product that moves a lot. Like, from 87, look how many days it's been between 86 and 87. It's a lot. So it's not exactly like, a wild child. This is not exactly like trading Tesla. Okay. I'm sorry. It's dropped all the way down to like a 12 or 13%, volatility. But we might be able to substantiate a position a little further out in time and way out of the money, looking for interest rates to, at some point, basically throw the towel in and start to soar. And I'd say throw the towel in, I kind of mean an effort to kind of explain this, that the TLT sees some sell side activity. And again, a TLT is a very interesting instrument. It's interesting because the TLT is actually a blend of the 30-year and the 10-year, right? To create this instrument, okay, they're blending these products, and that's actually how the TLT itself is constructed by blending two of those products in here. So it's the 20-year, it's kind of halfway in between over there. By the way, speaking of halfway in between, markets right now doing absolutely nothing. Are you disappointed? Okay. Tech looks squirrely. Tech looks squirrely. So it's not there. Okay. By the way, resolution is never poor. Okay. That would be your system. All you have to do is take off the low latency, and or you would need to refresh. Resolution is never going to be poor. So it's all contingent upon what your computer can handle. And it's not about internet speed. A lot of people, oh, it's internet speed. If you're running several trading applications, okay, which I am right now, I'm running like Thinkorswim. I'm running, obviously Tasty in the background, broadcasting. Running several trading applications is very taxing on your GPU. Your GPU, okay, would be, for example, your video card. If you have a store-bought computer and you're running Thinkorswim, trying to watch this broadcast, pretty good chance that you'll see some fuzzy once in a while. Probably have to take off like the low latency. Okay. By the way, I'm just teaching you guys is exactly how this thing works. So if you take a quick glance over here, see where it says low latency, you should check it off. Okay. The fact of the matter is, the most computer systems, they're not really spec'd for doing as much as what most people are doing on them. It's not even about like data and so forth. Okay. It's much more. It's not about data, is meaning like it's not about just your internet speed. It's much more about your local computer. And most people's local computers are, it's like if you go and get a computer at Best Buy or Costco, it's like basically walking into a McDonald's, and this, look, if you trade, like, is it a different level? Build a computer, have somebody build a computer, have somebody actually build a computer for trading. I just built a new computer. I've had the actual computer, but I built all the monitors and everything, and I built the desk, and I just did this last weekend. I was planning on doing a session, maybe in the next couple of days. I'll do a session where I'll actually show you. I'll use my phone, and we'll hop on Zoom, and I'll use my phone, and I'll actually show you how I built my entire computer system. I thought it would be kind of a cool session to do something different. Spend an hour or so literally just talking about technology. Okay, and I'll give you every. Does that interest anybody? I'll give you guys every component that goes into building, the actual computer system itself. And I don't just mean the box that I'm buying. I mean like which monitors, I just built a new computer system. Like, I like to use 6 monitors. People are like, oh, why do you want to use 6 monitors? Use one giant one. You'll understand when you see my system. I use 6 monitors. People, that sounds expensive. The monitors are $95 and they're freaking awesome. They're $95 for like these. I think they're 26-inch monitors, but I'll literally copy and paste every spec of everything from the monitors to the arms that hold the monitors, which are a pain in the ass to actually install. But after you install like 3 of them, because I use 6 monitors and I use 3 arms for them. Actually, the hardest thing to probably do out of all of it is actually build the desk. So I built a sit-stand desk. Even the sit-stand desks now, they're like 350 or 400. I think I paid $400 for a huge 72-inch sit-stand desk. Huge. But the hardest thing is the top of the sit-stand desk is bamboo. And if anybody knows about like tensile strength, you're trying to drill into that. I have a really good drill, and I still was like, holy crap, this desk is hard. It's really, really hard. It's awesome. Secret Agent Charlie, I'm curious. The Costco one, is that the glass one? Because we have a couple of those too for the kids. We have sit stand desks for all our kids. We have the Costco ones. They're great. Nasdaq's actually getting squirrely again in here. Yeah, so I'll actually show every detail. Like I use Nvidia graphics cards. I'll give you which one. The 4060 Ti, I think, is what it is. I think it'd be a cool session. Like I'll spec out every single thing. And I have a brand new computer. So I I built a whole new computer system. Not here. I'm in Paradise Valley right now, but I built it up in Flagstaff. And I was like, oh, this is going to be expensive. It's not. Like all the parts, okay, including monitors and everything. I think I was like, I'm under $1,500 in all the parts, excluding the main computer, excluding because I use a wildly robust computer. I don't think anybody here needs to have the kind of power that I use on a day-to-day basis, but I'm also, dealing with like media files and stuff. We'll talk about that. Like, I think it'd be a cool, like hour, maybe 90-minute session. We'll see. And I'll literally like just zoom the whole thing so that I can actually show you, best camera out there is probably the damn iPhone. So instead of using this camera, I'll probably use my iPhone and just like zoom into certain parts and so forth. But yeah, I've actually been pretty surprised how cheap it is to actually build. It's funny. Somebody said you have flat monitors. I do. I have curved monitors here. I have 2 out of my 6 monitors are curved here. I freaking hate them. I absolutely hate them. The pain in the ass. It's a curved monitor. Oh, I feel enveloped in it. Okay. There's something to said for like flat, and it is what it is anyway. I'll book that session. Okay. All right. Don't put the camera. All right. Let's continue on. So yeah, I've been using sit stand desks for I don't know, 12, 15 years, something like that when they very first came out. My wife thought I was like ridiculous. I'm like, up elevator, down elevator. By the way, one of the absolute keys to building your computer system when you do it. I mean, the one even in Flag, I legitimately have spent probably 8 to 10 hours already, like putting pieces together for it. And I've probably got like another 3 hours of work. I just have to wire it up. And I'm nuts about wires. Like wires can never hang, ever. I will even give you the specs on like the baskets that hold the actual wires. But it'll probably take like 11 or 12 hours total to build the whole system. And again, I give you like every single part that I used on there because this is the third computer system that I've actually built over the years. It is because the original one that I built like 10 years ago, that one's actually in the island. This one I built in 21 or 22. I built this computer system in 3 years ago in 22, and I just built one up in Flagstaff. Why have a slimmed down system and the whole thing only costs like $1,500? Pretty good. Um, mm, um, till we get to see the knees. Okay. I'll tell you right now, in a sit stand desk, when you're actually building, okay, the computer system, I'm going to give you a little tip here. With the sit stand desk, when you're building a computer system, rise the desk all the way up, stand underneath it. You never have to like kneel down, like none of that crap, digging around. Okay. So you just basically stand up and build the whole thing. It's a hell of a lot easier. So your desk is a workbench. It's good stuff. NASDAQ is still taking a little bit of a hit here this morning. This is a little bit more of what I would have expected. Take a look at the advanced decline line. So I've been really, really almost like hostile about this. The better the advanced decline line, okay, the lower the NASDAQ has gone. We're still seeing these rotations. This is not a positive sign for markets. We are attempting to rotate out of technology, and that's very clear, but it's not big. There's no heavy rotation out of tech. But in doing so, okay, we're just trying to shove money, okay, into, any place you possibly can. Like look at the financials. out of the gate this morning, okay, ripping again. In fact, this is one of the areas, it's like the object of my affection today. Like, look at Bank of America. You're not seeing this. It's going to hit the upper edge of its expected move right now. Go, go. Look, it's going to hit the upper edge of the expected move. It's actually, I have a whole itinerary of things I want to talk about today. Okay. Bank of America, JP Morgan, Citi, eBay, some really interesting underlyings in here. But let's get kind of started here. And I also want to look at a few of the trades that I've got on. Everything's like sitting right on the dance floor, but nothing's like coming to fruition. Everything's just kind of sloshing around a little bit right now. It's not gonna be too exciting. All right, let's get into it here. As again, I have pretty detailed itinerary today of what to talk about. So the SPX daily expected move. Let's come to the SPX, okay, the mother of all products, and let's discuss a little bit about its expected move. So the week started out very, very mild sell side activity. Okay, I know people looked at yesterday as like, oh, there's this huge rally. The S&Ps were up 31 handles. We basically rallied right back to where we were last Friday. So what are you right now? Massively unchanged. Okay, got that part. So we're unchanged in here. What's the remainder of the week actually holding? Because the S&Ps right now are completely and totally flat. Well, one of the interesting things is Nvidia, okay, really causing issues with implied volatility? The answer to that is, yeah, damn right it is. It's really kind of jacked up out there. Look at that, $50 expected move. Just to give you a feel for this, Nvidia's earnings is as big, almost as big. That could even go a little bit higher as like, Jackson Hole and so forth. Okay. So it's almost as big as Jack's Hole. It's almost as big as Jackson Hole, as big as like CPI, given the expected move. I'm giving you a scale of like, of expected move. Today, just to give you a feel for this, today, the expected move is basically $25. Tomorrow, it's going to be $50. So the expected move for tomorrow is double what it is today. If you want to know the effect of, what Nvidia happens to be, to me, I think that that's the best way to justify it. I mean, fair enough, though. You also want to see, is there other news coming out? And there is. There's actually some big numbers coming out tomorrow morning, which is definitely having an impact in the implied volatility as well. Okay. That's a little bit, surprising. There's one other interesting facet here. I'm not really sure how this is going to play out, but the QQQ, for example, the QQQ, its options are open 15 minutes after the close, as are, okay, the SPX options. They're open 15 minutes after the close. The interesting thing is that the QQQ spider is also open 15 minutes after the close. The QQQ is actually pricing in, okay, a lot of the movement specifically for Nvidia, okay, today. And it's not as wildly high tomorrow. The interesting thing is that the SPX, okay, the SPX isn't really doing that. The SPX expected move has already fallen down to 20. So just for what it's worth, and I know this is, might be a little confusing, but for what it's worth, I think that tomorrow's big expected move is actually less about Nvidia and probably more about some of the numbers that are coming out, just for what it's worth. Okay. It's impossible to be able to distinguish perfectly in here, but yes, Nvidia definitely has large bearing on the market. Yeah, the market tomorrow, by the way, look at this. The expected move is even coming up for tomorrow. Yeah, the expected move is coming up for tomorrow. It doesn't look like it's Nvidia, because if it's Nvidia would be felt here in the QQQ even more for tomorrow. I mean, look, I can see that there's big expected move for tomorrow, but I'm just telling you, some of the move is actually going to play out today in that 15-minute window of after the bell goes off. Okay, so kind of wild, right? Let's continue onward and upward here. So the S&P is, again, The S&Ps are just seeing a little bit of sell side activity. Like, look, don't even want to read into it. When you look at the advanced decline line, any day that you have the NASDAQ selling off and us rotating, and you're like, what do you mean like rotations? This is what I mean by rotations. Look at this. Look at the Russell. It's absolutely ridiculous. So every ounce of selling that's going on, for example, in Meta, okay, is being, brought into other areas. So Blake Young often says, money is neither created nor destroyed. It's just kind of rotated. Look, eventually people do sell. They go into cash. Okay. That's retail. When professionals sell, they usually have to move towards bond markets. You got to go somewhere when you're in the professional side. You just can't go to cash. So money is always constantly kind of sloshing around. Like I always think of like literally like a boat. Everybody runs to one side of the boat and then they run to the other side of the boat. And in this case, okay, money right now is running towards Russell, okay, and it's running towards Dow. But there's a very disconcerting kind of breakpoint in here. So what would happen is if the NASDAQ continues to sell off at all today, like if the NASDAQ opens up and slips a little bit lower, do I have an exact point on it? Yeah, I would say, and again, I'm just estimating. If that NASDAQ right there is down about 120 points, what starts to happen is that all of these little rallies in here, okay, will start to bleed out. The NASDAQ is a big enough weight, okay, that instead of actually like rotate, 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 and then like literally you start to flip over. And what it would do is start to drag the advanced decline line down. We're close and we got close to that, but no, not there yet. Not there yet. And that's something to consider. And here we are with the NASDAQ kind of ripping back up. But when the NASDAQ starts to break a little bit, right now you're just seeing, okay, kind of just these classic rotations. And they are ridiculous. Like, look at this. Energy. No one has wanted to buy this crap for, forever. And it's like, oh, it's the top of the range. I get it. Okay. This thing is breaking the expected move last week, headed towards it again. Okay. That's not, and again, this is just my opinion. That's not a positive. This is the energy sector. This doesn't look like a positive for markets. It doesn't look like a positive for markets because we're rotating towards energy, a place that no one has wanted to be all year. It's up, 2%. Look around a little bit. If I bring up the Russell, okay, the Russell, what's the year-to-date performance? That ain't bad, okay, but it's still a place that no one has wanted to be because you can argue that 2 freaking days ago, this thing was literally unchanged, okay, literally unchanged on the year 2 days ago. Now it's up 5%, which is not bad, very respectable. We're rotating right now, and we're not necessarily substantiating, okay, gains here in Nvidia. If you take a look at Meta, no, Meta's not near highs, okay? Meta actually broke. It's only up 25%. Let's look at Amazon. Nope, not doing anything, okay? Let's look at Apple, okay? Apple sucks. Apple sucks. And you know what? Rightfully so. It's down almost 6% on a year-to-date basis. Why? Because Apple sucks. Then we get to Microsoft. Microsoft, okay, didn't suck until the last 3 weeks, in which case now it really sucks. The point that I'm trying to make over here is, where's your performance coming out of? All right, by the way, Tesla's still down on the year. And then we have Broadcom. Broadcom performance has been off. All of your major tech stocks right now are having performance issues. They need gas station Viagra. It's the best, baby. I haven't really been to a gas station in a very long time. Like inside of it, never. Okay. I have to fill my Jeep on the island. Other than that, man, I'm gas station free. I have one gas powered car here, but I can remember the last time I filled it. Okay. It was a long time ago. Galaxy far, far away. I think I'm actually going to drive that thing today. I don't know. I might do it. Anyway, you're seeing some pretty significant rotations and you're not seeing, okay, tech migrate higher. That to me is why Nvidia is somewhat important. Okay. if you really want, like, everybody's got an opinion on Nvidia. Here's my opinion. I think Nvidia initially, okay, the stock breaks to highs and then reverses rapidly. That is my opinion on it, period. Okay. And I don't know, like that rapid rise could last 10 minutes, could last 10 days. Okay. And then it falls back. I think that there's wildly unrealistic expectations, okay, that can't be met in any real world environment. I will also say, though, at a $4.4 trillion market cap, holy crap, that's a lot of movement. That's about 8 to 9% of the entire S&P 500. When you look at what it's expected to move. So what is it expected to move? $12. So it's going to move $12. Okay, just bear with me here. So let's bring up a trusted calculator. So there's 24 billion shares outstanding, and you're supposed to move, okay, $12. Okay. So largely, if I just rounded this, you're going to move, okay, in a normal range, you should move about 300 billion. I'm just rounding that up a little bit to exactly where it should be. You're supposed to move about $300 billion of market cap. That's sizable. What's $300 billion of market cap? I don't know. Costco's a little bit above that right now. I don't know. Costco sold off a little bit. Yeah, Costco's like 400 billion, just to give you a feel of how big. So you're going to move to the equivalency, okay, of like, Target is a $44 billion company. You're going to move like 7 Targets worth. That's what I'm saying is, like, if Target went out of business like 7 times over, they should go out of business. Target sucks now. Okay. I was going to bring up Kohl's too. It really sucks. Okay. Caterpillar, like Caterpillar's a $200 billion company, but Nvidia is going to move, okay, some significant, it's going to move about $300 billion of market cap. And again, the one positive of Nvidia, these are the only monkeys really making money from AI. Can you think of anybody else? Like CoreWeave does? Please, CoreWeave is actually owned in part by Nvidia, right? It's like evil twin. But I know Kohl's. By the way, I can't wait to talk about Kohl's. I'm going to talk about Kohl's now because Jeff Bierman, okay, loves to talk about Kohl's. That place sucks, Jeff. Okay, almost as much as Target. Okay, I don't like stores very much. I was in Costco yesterday. It was actually kind of slow. It was slow. I was the only one buying stupid things. I needed a vacuum. Okay. When did a vacuum become $500? Like, seriously? Okay. When did a vacuum become $500? I paid $500 for a stupid vacuum yesterday. But I bought it at Costco, knowing, okay, that when I throw the stupid vacuum, I can bring it back and return it. Okay. Yes, it's a Dyson. What do you think this is? I have a Dyson fan too. I'm actually hooked on Dyson stuff. Okay. Okay. It does. It sucks. It's $500 vacuum. All right. I'm not going to buy that stupid shark thing. I remember those stupid commercials. Okay. I'm not buying them stupid shark. Dyson's pretty good. It might be overpriced, but it's really, really good. Okay. All right. Just throwing that out there. Had an Amazon. Okay. I don't go like Kohl's to return my stuff. Like, by the way, it's probably like once a month. My wife has a car full of crap to return to Amazon, like literally like once a month. Okay. They can't possibly be making money off of her. She had me like return a rug, an entire rug. That one they actually picked up at the house, but some idiot had to move it. That was me outside. Yeah, 14 by 10 rug. Just put it outside. Put it outside. Okay. I'm like, oh, here comes a storm, dragging it back inside. And I put it back outside in the dirt. Here comes a storm, pull it back inside. By the way, my entire house 2 days ago got covered with dirt in a dust storm, and it absolutely poured last night. So I don't have to wash the house off so much. The windows, though, like I can barely see out. It's a mud fest out there. Nvidia, okay? So Nvidia is just poised beautifully to break to the upside. I am not going to deny that. And if Nvidia does break to the upside, then all of a sudden the piss poor performance, okay, of like a Microsoft snaps back to life. The life of the tech right now does actually hinge, in my opinion, on Nvidia. It really is very much a make or break. And it's like no one, in my opinion, like you can look at the some of the top line and the bottom line numbers. Who cares about what they did this last quarter? Nobody gives a damn. Okay. You got Jensen at the helm. He's going to be wearing the leather jacket today. Okay. The Blackwell chip may have done well. It's all going to be about future performance, which it can't be bad. I just don't know if it's good enough. That's the whole key is over here is like Nvidia, nothing they're saying is going to be bad. Okay. It's just, is it going to be good enough? And that's why I think like the market initially spikes. No matter what happens, the market initially spikes and then fades. So we'll see how it actually plays out. Kirby vacuums. Is Kirby even in business anymore? Okay. Is Kirby in business? Okay. By the way, Steve was like, I returned a vacuum I had for 6 years. Okay. I resemble that remark. I have done the same thing. Okay. I have done the exact same thing. Okay. So I was, yeah. Anyway, I'll not incriminate myself over here. Dyson. Okay. Was there a body in the rug? Okay. Yeah. After my wife made it move me, move it a couple of times, she goes missing. I know they're all looking at me. I go missing. Nobody would ever suspect her, ever. Okay. They should, though. Okay. They should. It's the 100 pounds, and everybody thinks she's the nicest person ever. Okay. You don't even know. I'm the one who's going to end up in the rug. Kirby is still in business. I didn't even know if Kirby was around anymore. Tell me that Kirby still has like a plug. Okay. If you have to plug it in, I'm out. I'm out at that point. And plug it in my damn vacuum. Um, house here, the house here in Arizona, like here in Paradise Valley, it's contemporary. You can't be like dragging a cord around. It's not a great house for kids. They're good though. They don't really damage anything. Although there was a VR headset incident. You have these hand controls for VR headset, VR headset. Like one of the controllers went right into the wall. It was easy to fix. Little patch, little paint. An hour later, all good, all good. It's like it never even happened. Okay, and my wife will never know. And if I end up in a rug, please look her way. It was her. It was probably for good reason though. Let's go back to a couple of trade setups in here. So $25 expected move for today. We're massively unchanged. Let's also talk about India for a second. Okay. There's a tariff of 50%. Markets don't give a damn. Okay. It is insane right now because, if you're Apple, I just want to throw this out. If you're Apple, okay, you got to be pulling chunks of your hair out right now if you're Tim Cook. You literally moved production from China to India specifically to avoid, okay, any imperial entanglements. Um, who says that? Okay, huh? Avoiding imperial entanglements? Huh? Huh? Who says it? Anyway, if you take a look at this is the India ETF, it's tanking pretty good today. If you have an expected move here, it's well outside of that. Okay. Anyway, yeah. By the way, I know Apple has no tariffs anywhere because Apple is immune to that. But anyway, it is Han Solo. Okay. No, it's not the damn mighty Wookiee. All right. But the sell side activity in here is not all that extreme. Not all that extreme. By the way, if I were Tim Cook, I'd be concerned because it's only a matter of time before China and or India, okay, will take out their little vengeance on Apple, even though Apple's tariffs are stay of execution in here. But this is an India ETF. There's a few products. Okay, there's I was looking at IBN. By the way, I've only pulled the stock up ever like one time. This is actually a bank in India that is an ADR here in the United States. ADR is American Depository Receipt. They're supposed to follow certain standards, but not all the standards are exactly the same as the accounting standards here in the US, yada, yada, yada. Okay. You can trade an India company. This is true of a lot of Chinese companies like Baidu and so forth, the ADRs. There's some pretty steep sell side activity in here. But again, it's a 50% tariff. Okay. And it's India, which is, one of the most populous places in the entire world. And it's a non-event for markets right now. We have completely moved past it. And that is my entire reasoning for bringing it up right now. Okay. You guys tell me, is it a non-event? Is it really a non-event? Okay. India, 50% tariff. There's a lot of crap, okay, that you buy that's from India. There's a lot of production that's been moved specifically from China to India. We've been very friendly with them. Why does India have the 50% tariff? Because they're selling oil, or buying oil, I should say. Apologize, buying oil from Russia. Okay. You would too. I mean, it's like a discounted rate. They're not even using, like, if oil's trading $63 a barrel, it's like, tell you what, I'll give you $50 a barrel. Okay. And you look the other way. You just look the other way. Don't worry about the United States, 50%. Okay. I'll save you more than 50%. I'll give you 45 a barrel. Okay. And a couple of truck drivers. Looks like a pretty good deal. Is it really a non-event? It might be, but I'm going to tell you something about the 50% tariff. Okay. He's going to raise it. Trump will raise this. Okay. If the purchases do not stop. Okay. It's, and again, it's, somebody said it won't stand at 50%. You're right. I think it'll go higher. They've got weeks, okay, before they really get pissed here and raise this. So, we'll see. We'll see how this one actually plays out. But what's shocking is there's some pockets that are affected here, but it's not even, the market doesn't even care. Absolutely doesn't care. Now, I want to spend a minute on that. The market doesn't care. It doesn't care it's not caring about anything. And if you look at VIX, you're like, yeah, no, the VIX is completely and totally crushed down. It is, and it isn't. The VIX is completely and totally crushed down, but that's spot VIX. That relates to 30-day options inside of the SPX. The volatility futures, okay, are substantially higher. And I want you just to get a quick feel for what I'm kind of saying over here. Like, everybody's like, the VIX is really low. The VIX is really low. I mean, that's been the take in the entire, financial world, because a lot of people don't look here. If you turn on like a CNBC, the VIX is low, the VIX is low. But 21 days out, they're already pricing forward VIX at 17. Now that comes down, but it's pricing higher right now. Why? Because there's a threat of volatility moving higher. Seasonality alone has me actually sitting on the sideline of a very profitable trade. Okay. There's a really profitable trade that I've been doing. And the trade that I've been doing is calendar spreads in these volatility futures. If you're interested in learning about them, I'm going to do a full-blown session next week on volatility, okay, calendar spreads. I'm just going to explain it, okay, on the peripheral a little bit, just give you kind of a feel for it. But right now, okay, I'm actually on the sideline, which is okay. Who cares? We've had profitable trade after profitable trade. Anybody that took the volatility mastermind, that first volatility mastermind, the only volatility mastermind that I've done, anybody that took that's doing this trade, okay, has done extraordinarily well. But now I've actually said to them, I'm like, back off. The volatility futures are funky right now, really funky. There's over a $2 difference between OCC and SEP. So what is this saying? Like, in the end, you have to be able to put anything that you see on the screen. Like, who cares? 1691 and 1907. Who cares? Okay. What is it saying? Like, what does that mean? Like, what's the context behind it? And the context is, and I'm going to pull up all three of these. Here's the context. Okay. Context is, okay, market doesn't give a damn that the VIX is at 15. Market sees volatility in the very near future taking off to the upside, which it should, because seasonally, like, people all of a sudden, Labor Day, and they they come back from the Hamptons and let's get crazy. Like they weren't crazy enough all summer spending, $100,000 a month renting a house in the Hamptons. They come back from the Hamptons, they get all kinds of crazy, and here we go. Okay, is the Hamptons no longer like the place to be? Okay, is that not a place to be anymore? Now you go to like Jersey Shore. Oh, okay, gross, man. It's still Jersey. I apologize. Okay. I mean, I apologize, but I don't. We've got actually people that I work with here at TheoTRADE. They're from Jersey. I've actually asked, how many times have you been back to Jersey since you left? It's like once. I'm actually talking about Jeff Roth. He's been back like once or twice since I've actually known him, which has been about like 12 years or so. Been back to Jersey once. Born and raised. Okay. Fire Island. I actually grew up going to Fire Island, where you actually drive a little off-road on the beach. I grew up going there. Okay. But Fire Island was it's only like 30 minutes away. I lived North Shore, that was South Shore. But when you look at this volatility, it's pricing a rebound in volatility. That's it. Okay. So if nothing happens, what happens is these vols just decay. They decay out. And there's a damn good trade now between ACK and NOV. So I'm going to bring it exactly that trade up next week. Okay. All right. Okay. Fire Island. All right. Continuing on over there. Okay. There's no more short-term rentals in the Hamptons. Okay. Nobody's saying it has to be short-term rental. They're going to rent it for like 90 days. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I don't like renting places. It's weird. Gotta sleep in another bed. It's weird. Okay. It's much more difficult. Just buy the damn place. Just buy it. Okay. What's the worst that could happen? All right. You got to pay some utility bills. It's auto pay. It's easy. All right. Onward. S&Ps right now are pretty much flat. So I wanted to bring up the low volatility in accordance with, I know you got Nvidia, you got India, we're above the 6450. I did every day I've been bringing up Palantir at least once because I think it's great marquee stock to actually look at. This continues to break down. It's hovering right there. If it continues to break down, it's actually extraordinarily bearish for not just Palantir, but the marketplace. I will bring up Kohl's just to piss off Jeff Bierman really quick. So it's up 20%, predicated on what? Okay. Kohl's, yada, yada, yada. I got nothing over here. It's earnings. Okay. It's a blistering move to the upside. It's a whole $3. Who cares? Onward. Okay. So donut, you got to bring up donut. Donut. Krispy Kreme. I think they're headquartered here. I think I drive by like their headquarters all the time. Why would a donut place have like their headquarters in Scottsdale, Arizona? Other than it's like a nice place, but I don't think a lot of people are eating donuts here. Okay, unless they're like healthy donuts. Okay, this town has become like a weird version of like Orange County where people are relatively healthy. Okay, it's anyway, Krispy Kreme. Honestly, I didn't even really know they were still in business. I remember when these things first came out, people were waiting for like 3 hours in line for like donuts. Okay, turns out they're all sugar. Oh, donuts are supposedly bad for you. This is where we bring up the police officer thing. That crap is absolutely true. It's true. It's okay. Okay, I'm not judging you, officer. I'm not judging you. Continuing on. We have any officers of the law? Okay, we've always had a couple of officers of the law that are clientele over here. Be very careful what I say over here. He's like, I am coming to your state. I don't have jurisdiction. Okay, but anyway, continuing on over here. By the way, yeah, those donuts are expensive too, very expensive. Okay, trade setups. On the dance floor, looking at Bank of America, JP Morgan, Citi, and eBay. Okay. And I'm actually going to give you, so Bank of America. Bank of America ripped to the upside today and actually cooled off a little bit. This, okay, it's a great, just hold on a sec because this one's interesting. It's actually a great setup. Okay. 28 years in NYPD and Nassau. All right. So my dad actually owned a bunch of businesses in Nassau County. Very familiar with it. I'm a Suffolk boy. I'm just throwing that out there. Okay, that's where I am. All right, so 28 years. It's freaking awesome. Um, there's some great stories, by the way, of not only NYPD but NASA. Okay, lots of serial killers out on the islands. Lots of serial killers. Okay, you ever watch a show about serial killers? It always involves Long Island. Just brings them out. Okay, a little bit of California, but predominantly Long Island. The good ones were in Long Island. Just saying that. The market in Bank of America clipped the upper edge of an expected move, shattered the upper edge of an expected move, and hit it again today. This thing is a fierce move to the upside. Okay, and you're thinking, I'm going to short it. Short it. And then you open up a slightly larger chart. Okay. And you're like, holy crap, look at this. It's breaking to the upside. This looks like a good short. And I was kind of bothered though when I opened up like the 5-year. Okay, it's even cracked through there. But wait for it. Wait for it. I had to pull up like a max chart. I'm like, oh crap. I'm nervous in here. Okay. It matched highs basically here. It could pull back, but I'm a little concerned because it can shoot for its all-time high, right? So this one, okay, look, it is an excellent setup, and I'm serious. It's an excellent setup for a short-term violent pullback. It literally today, look at this, almost hit the upper edge of the expected move and pulled back on the dime. That's one of the trade setups, okay, for a short position there. The next trade setup, and by the way, I'm not sure which one I'm going to do just yet. The next trade setup, JP Morgan, completely different take. Okay, what's my take in JP Morgan? First of all, open up the max chart. Holy crap. Okay, this is what free money does. This is what free money does over here, right here. Nice. I got the entire chat room now talking about serial killers. Yeah, it's I'm telling you, the best ones live out on the island out there. Okay. I don't know what the Long Island does, but it definitely brings out the serial killer in everybody. They're not just all Chicago. Chicago had a couple of good ones though too. Right? Anyway, the okay, that's where I was going with Chicago. There you go. Anyway, the trade in JP Morgan, it's bullish. This one's actually a bullish setup. And I may actually take this trade on. Again, I'm not like, I'm not like positioning anything other than here's a couple trade setups, but look at this. The high, it's like matching highs. And I love this crap because all of a sudden, boom, it just accelerates through. And JP Morgan has enough options volume that a gamma squeeze can actually kind of take place on it. Oh, it sucks though today. Look at that. It's amazing. It's only 9,000 contracts have traded today. Like the concentration of liquidity right now is just, it's incredible. It was a lot better yesterday. I looked at it yesterday. There's JP Morgan. Hold on. I want to bring up one more in the banking side of things. Citi. Citi I like too. So I opened up Citi and I opened up like a 3-year. Okay, it's all time. By the way, it's not an all-time high. Citi had a little issue, if you will, back here. That's a real price. It's not like, okay, it fell from grace. Was Citi run by Vikram Pandit? That's it. Okay, blame him. I don't even know if he's alive anymore. Okay, he's probably alive in retirement with millions of dollars. Okay, living on a boat somewhere. Anyway, Vikram Pandit, Citi. I think it is Vikram Pandit. Okay, we're still talking about like killers in here. That's that's when you know the market's actually slow. Bringing up donuts. Donuts turned into police officers. Police officers. Officer, I had nothing to do with that. Police officers turned into serial killers. Okay. My mind is really, it wanders from time to time. You would think this early, I would be focused. This is about as focused as I get. Okay. I'm running on like 8 cylinders. The only problem is they live in different directions at all times. They're going different directions. Citi is well positioned also for one of these gamma squeezes. Citi, though, it didn't receive nearly as much option volume. Like the market's trying to screw me here. Citi actually has more option volume today than does JP Morgan. I was looking at this yesterday. I was actually shopping these trades. Citi looks like it's going to break to highs. Okay. Obviously, it's not an all-time high because I got Vikram panted. Okay. But it is what it is. Okay. It's a weave. Okay. It's not a weave, it's my real hair. All right. I know what you meant. Okay. I know what you meant. Just wandering. I prefer to call it wandering. I wander. Hmm. At least I was able to actually trace my steps back of how we actually went from Krispy Kreme, which is in Scottsdale, to donuts and beaches, and it got a little crazy there for a minute. All right, I'm pulling it back in. There are several setups here. I personally I like the J.P. Morgan Citi setup better than I like the Bank of America setup. Like you guys know, I love my bearish trades, but my thinking is very simple. Citi and JP Morgan, like right here, okay, as soon as it hit it, boom, it took off to the upside. I'm using Bank of America. I think that that's going to happen in Citi and JP Morgan. And I'm actually going to select a couple of trades in there. I also, by the way, I shopped around in Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley's in a real similar position too. Morgan Stanley literally hit highs today. If you take a look at the 15-year on that one, I'll even incorporate like, look, okay, this is all-time highs in here. All right. Look at what's going on in this marketplace. Everywhere you look. Now the banks are at all-time highs. Why are the banks at all-time highs? Okay. Because nobody right now wants to stuff like money, at least today, down the metal hole. Nobody wants to put money down the metal hole. Apple sucks. Yes, it does. Everybody knows Apple sucks because it's down 5%, right? And why? Because they haven't said the word AI enough. Okay. We're not involved in AI. I'm still alone though in thinking like nobody else like believes like it's sad. Like Apple, okay, the mainstay of like what are in most people's hands in terms of technology, okay, doesn't have an AI product. They unable to build a car, doesn't have an AI product, okay. Siri sucks. Hey Siri, you completely suck, right? It's not even talking back to me. Yeah, you think that. Anyway, bad animal. Bad animal. Yeah, I wanted to cover those underlyings. Now, back to it. There's another one I've been watching for a while. It's eBay, right? And again, the reason I'm going through these trade setups, don't be surprised if I start to execute crap in the next, couple of hours. eBay, heavy sell side activity. Okay, look at this crap. Where did it come out of? I don't have an answer for this one. Smashing the lower edge of its expected move. Okay, I'm not doing anything in here right now. I really wanted to bear up in here, and I'm actually shocked at how fast the pullback has been. I don't know if it's actually going to last. It's another one. It could be long or short in here, but on a year-to-date basis, check this out. It's up 60%. That, people, is ugly. I mean, it pulled back by 10% basically in a couple of trading sessions. So this was I was looking for a trade setup, but yeah, I kind of barfed that one up pretty quick. All right, so ADHD is treated with stimulants. Okay, more caffeine, more caffeine. Should I start giving caffeine to my children? Okay. Oh, my youngest is a nut. Thought I was ADHD. Okay, he's operating on different levels at the exact same time, working on different projects. Okay, it's wild. Okay, the kid should have like tentacles instead of just two appendages here from the from arms. Tentacles, I tell you. Um, interesting look right now at the S&Ps. I just want to show you something. I say interesting look. The ticks right now are decisively negative, but the marketplace is actually chugging a little bit higher. You go, how can that be? The advanced decline line, which was dramatically more positive, is coming back down. Why? Tech is recovering. So rotate back. And if that's true, if this advanced decline line is getting worse, then the Russell must be getting beaten up a little bit. Okay. Is the Russell getting beaten up? To some extent, pulled back a little bit, but hasn't done anything since the cash open. Yeah, we'll see. So a lot of trades that I'm shopping right now, trades that I have on Google, GLD, okay, Boeing. They're not losing money. They're just not. I mean, they're not like GLD. Okay, look in GLD, open it up. GLD only has, this thing's pissing me off. Only has 9 days left. It's up about 30%. Okay. Boeing. I'm clicking on it. Boeing. By the way, being down 20% is like basically like break even. Okay. I keep telling myself that being down 20% is just like break even. In an in-out spread, though, it is like a $2 move more, and you're like, you're golden pony boy. I need a move. What the hell, man? There's weird things going on with my mouse. Okay. My mouse got slow all of a sudden. Okay. You don't know what it's like having a slower mouse. I have an underprivileged mouse over here that's slowed down. By the way, I use the special mouse. Okay. My hand actually does hurt. I do press on the desk a little bit. Okay. I got problems with that. I even have the little trackpad though. I should be using this more. You guys ever use one of these? It's like a little trackpad instead of using a mouse. Smack the damn thing. I was hurting my hand with that too. Anyway, Boeing is still right on the dance floor. You have 16 days left. Okay. It's a $12 expected move. Seriously, my mouse is not moving where I want it to. It's really pissing me off. It's really, Don's going to lose it. It's $12 expected move, right? But we're trading 32. I only need is 25. I only need like a $7 move. I'm not asking for much from a probability point of view. I think that's the best way to actually look at this. See if I can get the mouse moving better. From a probability point of view, the probability of touching even the short strike is still 60%. So I tell you, you're on the dance floor in there. You're doing good. Okay. All right. We got the mouse. We're getting some mouse back. Okay. Other than that, everything's doing pretty good. Google, we're fine. Google would largely hinge on the Nvidia announcement today. So all hands on deck. All hands on deck is Google. Google gonna move. Google gonna move a lot. It's pretty wild that you have elevated implied volatility. Like this is the last thing I'll leave you with, and then we'll torture Jeff Bierman a little bit. Just poke him in a little bit. Look at the Google implied volatility this week versus next week. It almost looks like Google has earnings, but it doesn't have earnings. Okay, it has what? Nvidia risk. Nvidia risk. Speaking of Nvidia risk, Garrett's going to be on later when Nvidia releases the earnings. Gianni is going to join him. So by all means, please join Gianni and Garrett, not only in the last hour, but into the close. They're actually going to stay on after the close. Jeff Bierman, you
Hello,
need theme.
Donald.
You need theme music for your intro, man.
No, I appreciate you attacking Kohl's. You know, Don, it is the most garbage store merchandising, but damn, it's got good prices.
Everything is like they mark it up to mark it down.
Yeah.
You know what? The last time Amazon Prime did a Prime Day, we were on the island, but my wife still was like looking through there, and she orders crap from there constantly. I swear to you though, literally, she probably returns 75% of everything she buys through Amazon.
Oh,
Like
geez.
literally. Oh yeah, man. We spent like 20 minutes the other day at like a UPS store returning stuff. My entire back of my car was like loaded up. You can fit a lot of crap in the back of my car. It's like ridiculous how much you can fit in one of those Teslas. I went to Costco yesterday in the Tesla. I had toilet paper and paper towels and a vacuum and all this bedding and stuff. I have the family coming up to Flagstaff this weekend. I'm going to Flagstaff later today. I'm going to wait for the market to close, which is like 1 o'clock here. Record a video, go drive up there. It's only in the 50s right now up there too. I'm a mountain man. Did you know that? I'm a mountain man.
You
Yeah.
gave up on the beach life, I suppose.
I didn't give up on the beach life. Beach life gave up on me. It's only 50.
Yeah.
You know what? It is the one thing I don't like doing, okay, is getting on an airplane anymore. I spent 15 years of my life like flying around, and flying right now, it sucks. It's so bad. Like I didn't mind it. I never used to mind flying. I didn't mind flying even right before COVID. Something changed over COVID. Like it's absolutely disgusting to fly. Disgusting. Like it's completely changed. Does anybody not? And I do love my Pacific time. Does anybody else not see that? Okay. When you fly, especially if you're like Miami Airport, oh, okay. It's like my own personal hell. At least they redid LaGuardia. Miami, they redid it and it still sucks. All right. Jeff? No, nobody's agreeing with that. Okay. By the way, yeah, I used to actually like enjoy flying around. I didn't mind. Okay. And I don't care. I can buy a business class seat, whatever, getting a little up there. A couple more rings around the tree. Business class and business class. It's stuck. It all sucks, I tell you. Okay. It's literally like it's like being in like prison for like 15 hours to go to the island. It's because you're on an airplane. It's that bad. It's that bad. So okay, Miami. I've never, Jeff, in 15 years of flying around, I never used to buy like access to the lounges, like American Airlines lounge.
Yeah.
The last couple of years, I had to buy access to the lounge because the Miami airport, the bathrooms are so disgusting. I'm like, I'm never stepping foot into a bathroom again in the Miami airport. It makes O'Hare look clean, man.
There's no way
Okay.
to make O'Hare look clean. Would you stop
I'm
insulting
telling
me?
you, I'm
Oh,
telling you, like it makes Penn Station look decent, which
oh.
is like the half naked homeless guy running around. Okay. It makes it, it's, I'm not laughing about that, but I've actually had like, the half naked homeless guy like running around in Penn Station. I've got some wild times in too. There's no question about that. So, yeah, they need more NYPD in Penn Station over there, and there is a ton of cops in there, but it doesn't matter. Um, sorry, Penn Station's been improved. You know what? I haven't been to New York in a couple of years. I'm avoiding it right now. That and all like Chicago. I have not been, Jeff, to Chicago since 2019, which is not only a record, but it's really funny because people from Chicago, they keep coming out here. Like, oh man, don't worry about it. We'll come out there. The only one I have not seen in like he won't come out here is Sosnoff. Sosnoff, we met in like Miami, we met in like Vegas, we'll meet in like different places. Okay. I'm not going to Chicago and he's not coming to Arizona. All right. What do you got today?
Monthly email grab bag.
All right, that's it. That's all you got from us. All
That's it.
right. So monthly email grab bag. This is where Jeff Bierman goes on tangents about emails, possibly yells, screams, foams at the mouth a little bit. S&Ps are up 9 handles right now. It's slow out there today. I mean, the amount of volume we've done in the S&Ps today, 300,000 contracts, pretty light. Jeff, it is all yours. Enjoy for the next hour. Again, Garrett's going to be back on for the close. So definitely want to tune into that one. Stay tuned. Jeff Bierman's coming on, well, right now.
All right. So let me say without further ado, good morning and welcome to the second hour of TheoTRADE.